Wednesday to everyone. It looks like it's a little gloomy start after last night's storms, but hope it will turn out to be a wonderful day for all of you. We are so glad that you took time out of your morning to join us, or you're watching this on the replay for the continuation of our Refresh, Reset, and Go seminar series. So today I am here with my co-host and presenter, Todd Sivia, who is the owner of Sivia Law. Today, in the Refresh portion of our series, we will be discussing to sell or to go. Todd is an accomplished attorney and joins us as owner of Sivia Law. We are excited to have him with us today. Todd graduated from St. Louis University of Law and is licensed to practice in Illinois and Missouri. He grew up in Alton, Illinois, and assisted his father in his office supplies business. Being a part of a small business family, he learned the value of hard work and customer service. And with that, I welcome you, Todd, and the floor is yours.
All right, well, thank you. So, kind of go over our minutes for today and our presentation. We've got about 5 minutes worth of introduction, and then we'll do the presentation, and we'll allow for about 20 minutes worth of Q&A. Feel free during the course of this to ask any kind of questions, and I'll either answer them as I go, or we'll answer them at the end of the presentation. So, as a business owner, I always think that we are gamblers, and I think the Kenny Rogers song, God rest his soul, it said it perfectly. And we always have to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away, and know when to run. So, you know, and in business, that's the key, is knowing when to hold them, know when to fold them, fold up the business, when to walk away, and when to run out of the business. So, so we got to know it. But I do disagree with how he says you should count your money. He says, don't count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done, but you should always know where your money is. So it's always critical to know and count your money. I always think that there's 5 P's with any business. You need to have a purpose. You need to have good people. You need to have a good product and a process in order to create a profit. And we always forget about the profit, because if we don't have a profit, if you're not profitable, what's the point of a business? So let's talk about signs when we know it's time to hold them. You're making a profit, and you're making the profit first. So within any business, when we look at the business, we need to make sure that before we do anything, we actually need to have a profit. So we need to factor that in any business. So remember always to pay yourself first, because if you're not paying yourself first, then you know, you're in kind of shaky ground. So we want to make sure that you're paying yourself first, and that's one of the keys when I'm looking at a business and viability. Do you have a passion for what you're doing? If you don't have a passion for what you do, then there's definitely a question. Remember, your passion is not a job. So just to get up and do something, and if you're not passionate about it, everybody's going to know it. So your customers are going to know it. Your other business owners are going to know it. And if you're just showing up for a job, then it's, you know, we don't want that. You have to have the right people on the boat. So going through this, the 5 Ps, if you don't have the right people on the boat, you're going to have an issue. Make sure that the people fit within your core values, because if you're not surrounding people within your core values and determining what those core values are of your business, and they're, maybe they're on the boat, but maybe they're in the wrong seat of that boat. So if you've got somebody that's good at rowing the boat, and you've got them navigating you, well, that may not be the best place for them. So we want to make sure that we've got the right people on the boat. So in any evaluation of, are we doing well? Are we all rowing in the same direction? Do you have a purpose that is serving more than yourself? So a lot of times with business owners, if you look at some business owners, like I'll use an example of, and there are people that do this type of business very well. But if you look at like a Mary Kay or a basic, you sell, multi-level marketing, and you're wanting the profits, or you're just wanting the product for yourself, and you're not striving to grow that business, and it's just for yourself, then you need to reevaluate it and figure out if this is truly your passion, and whether or not the purpose is for yourself or not. Process. There are so many times when people are working within their business and the process is not working. So you lose passion, you lose people, you lose a lot of things because the process is not working. So if things are going well, your process is working brilliantly. You're Amazon and you've got everything lined out. You've got UPS coming in at a certain point in time, and they're doing pickups, and you're getting orders, and everything just moving along, and you don't even have to worry about it. So process is very, very streamlined. So if that is not the case, I want you to know that failure is part of success. So if you believe that you're going to close, or you need to close your business, and that's okay. Failure is part of success, and as long as you realize that you're going to be successful, and by letting things go, that's okay. That's perfectly fine. So, everything that we talked about just with regards to holding your business, is just the opposite when you fold the business. So if there's no profits, no wages, you can make more at McDonald's than and doing what you're doing. You can make more money at McDonald's working at the restaurant than then it may be time for you to fold. You have no passion. You've lost the love. You've lost that loving feeling. At that point in time, you can get your passion back, but you got to have that passion, and it has to come back at some point in time. You don't have the people. Your key employees are gone. Or it's too costly to get an employee to serve your business. No purpose. The purpose of the business is not there. The business is only serving you, and there's no process. It's haphazard, and we don't know how things are going. there's no order to your business. If there's no order to your business, we need to relook at that. But all that stuff is definitely fixable. So let's talk about signs to see when it's time to walk away. Your product is no longer viable. Whips and the buggy whip is no longer useful. So if your product or service is no longer viable, then there is a question. And you either have to change and modify your product or service, or you need to do something different. So retail sales, and if you look at how retail sales, having that brick and mortar used to, it has definitely shrunk. So having brick and mortar locations is not as viable as it once was. But if you look at examples of companies like Best Buy, who are reinventing and constantly reinventing how they operate as a retail store, that's what you need to be doing. So retail is not out of the picture, but you have to be looking at your product, looking at your service, and determining what products you need to be offering. Should you be offering cassette tapes? Probably not. 8-tracks. 8-tracks are a little bit before my time, but yeah, I don't know. Look at Teresa over there. But 8-track,
I was just a baby, and I heard them play in my crib.
But if the product and service is not viable, we constantly, if we look at change is happening so quickly. And if we look at this pandemic as a perfect example, and look at pre-corona and look at post-corona. Change happened every about 6 months, and we were moving at a rate of about every 6 months. There was a rate of change. Look at computers. Computers were, if you look at the little flash drives, every 6 months, the flash drives get bigger. And nowadays, what used to, if we look at the difference between the 1980s and today, that little stick, the little jump drives that you once had, that would fill up probably a 20-story skyscraper full of electronics. And now it's as tiny as your little pinky, and you have so much more information. And so if we look at the rate of change, and the rate of change just keeps dramatically increasing. But if you look at since Corona's happened, you have had a rate of change of what our government looks like, what our laws are within a 6 to 10 day period of time. We've had thousands of changes within the law, and a whole shift within the perspective of what government should do. So our rate of change significantly changed within a matter of time. So you've got to look at your product and service. Is it still viable? Is the way you are producing your work still viable? We look at our people and our business, within our business, and are the people within the business retiring soon? When I was running a title company several years ago, I looked around, and no one was young that wanted to get in the title business. There was absolutely nobody that was wanting to jump into that service. Everybody around me was over the age of 60. There's very, very few individuals that are in that, most of the people in that business that know the business very well are retiring soon. So all your knowledge is stuck within a generation. So I saw a change coming, and I decided we needed to make a change. Are you feeding your business more money than you're returning? So if you're sticking more money into your business every month, and you don't see when that business is going to start paying you dividends, it's a time to walk away. I always say with a business owner, it doesn't matter if they're a beginning business owner or on the back end, if you got to have a dollar amount that you say, this is my line. Once I cross this line and I've dumped this amount of money into the business, once you reach that plateau, you need to walk away, and have a dollar amount in your mind of what that dollar amount is, to know that, hey, I'm going to walk away from the business at that juncture. So, whether it's $100,000, $200,000, whatever it is, once you hit that plateau, you need to walk away, and have that exit strategy out. Michael Gerber always, in his book, Beyond the E-Myth, says before you go into business, you need to have an exit strategy. So right at the beginning, you need to have an exit strategy. You need to know, what's my dollar amount to get out? What's my exit strategy? Am I selling it to Joe Blow down the street, or am I going to close up shop? Or am I just going to sail off with the bags of money in my hand? So you have a business, and lastly, you have a business to have friends, or a sense of purpose. So if you've got a business and the whole purpose is to have friends to show up, you need to start thinking about what, you can go have friends down the street, but if your business is there just to have friends, we need to rethink it. We need to think about what's the purpose of the business. So, should I sell my business? I get this question a lot. What's my business worth? Should I sell it? Can I sell it? So the common question I always ask is, would you buy your own business? And what would you pay for it? If it's not profitable, and it's not a profitable business, would you actually go out and buy that business, and what would you pay for it? If it's breaking even, if it's not making any money, would you be willing to spend thousands of dollars on buying that business? And that's always a question. Is it my business worth 3 times the value of my revenue? I always get that. Everybody says, well, it's worth $1 million because I bring in, I bring in $250,000 in revenue. No, and that's not what the value of the business is. The only time you're going to start seeing value based upon revenue is if you have a subscription model. Anything with a subscription model generally has a good rate of return with regards to the value of your business. So Netflix is a perfect example. It's based upon revenue because you've got subscribers, and they're looking at more of subscription rate and rate of fallout. Those are the very few businesses that is based upon revenue. Most of the time, it's going to be based upon profit. A profit-based business. If you're making zero profit, nobody really wants to jump into your business. So, everybody always says, "Oh, I need to get my business down to zero so I don't have to pay taxes." Totally understand that. I feel for you. I don't want Uncle Sam to get a dollar more than what they should, but we should also run our books so that we could sell your business. If you are at zero, no one's going to buy your business because nobody really wants to jump into a business where they're making zero profit. So, so it's not 3 times the value of your business. What's the cost to get, and to truly get the value? What's it cost to get into your business? So if we look at if all I need is a website, we look at lawyers as an example, lawyers, all you need is a website and a phone number, and you can set up a business as long as you have your law degree. So anybody can start up their law firm. That's not hard. But if you look at some of the more technical airlines, you have to spend millions upon millions of dollars to start an airline because you gotta have staff, you gotta have flight attendants, you have to have a system to sell your airline tickets, you gotta pay to actually have places in at the airport. So there's a lot of costs with starting up your business. So you want to make sure that you've got enough, those businesses are a little bit more protected. What is your client acquisition cost? If it's hard to get a client, then you may be a protected business. So your value is going to be increased. If it costs you, say $10,000 to get one client, and you're in a restricted area, so maybe you sell sewers, or you maybe sell water pipe, or maybe you're selling some product that it's extremely, just thinking outside the box. But if you have a product that it's hard to get, and you've got an exclusive product or service, the client acquisition cost is going to be extremely harder to get. So that increases the value of your business. Same thing with equipment costs. If it costs you $1 million to have, for example, a machine shop, that's a lot of cost that your competitor would have to incur. So your value is going to go up. If it's not profitable, and you're not pursuing, and your financials aren't built correctly, you're not really set up, it may not be worth going out on the open market and trying to sell your business. So we want to make sure that you actually have a business of value, or a business that people are excited about buying into, and you can't push off the competition. So if you don't have those things, then it may not be worth selling your business. But you'll still get value out of it by selling the equipment, selling, even the lease space may have some value. So there is some ability to sell it. So I'm not saying it's not worthless, but going out and having a business truly to sell is a little bit harder. So you've determined, hey, may not be able to maybe I'm still on the fence of, do I sell or do I go? I've talked to business owners in the past, and they're looking at their business, and it's just frustrating to them. This pandemic is not very helpful in that regards. But can you rethink your business to make you passionate again? So we go back to your 5 Ps. Are you able to, in Teresa's words, pivot? Pivot and really look at your process, your people, and your product. Is there a Debbie Downer within your business? Now, this may be a great opportunity to let that person go and rehire people that will help drive your passion again, and eliminate the Debbie Downers. Can you fix a process? This is a perfect opportunity for you to re-look at your processes and say, how can we be more efficient? How can we re-look at this and get things going in the right direction? And looking at your products. And Teresa, you had a great story yesterday about the person with a product that they wanted to add to a line, and re-looking at the line and adding more value to their business. Maybe there's a product that you can add to your business that you're extremely passionate about. So, reigniting that passion is extremely positive. Can you eliminate a cost? There's a lot of companies out there that are, based upon this pandemic, have realized, I really don't need as much lease space as I once did. People can really work at home, and I'm okay with that as long as they're producing. Are you seeing inefficiencies in delivering your product? Is there something that you can change within the process that makes things a little bit more easier for the client and for the people around you? Do you know who your competition is? It's important for you to know who your competition is, because if you don't know who your competition is, and you're going to have problems. So knowing who your competition is, and if your competition is at a certain level, is there a way to catch up with them and bypass them? Are they thinking and growing in some way that, are they losing out on some opportunity? The competition's losing out on some opportunity that you're seeing, and can you fix the problem that they're seeing? Because really, that's what we're always looking at. The purpose of a business is to fix the issue that people have, and you're serving a purpose. So if you can reset, rethink of where you're going, and see who your competition is, and go and see what the issues are, and can you catch up with them, or can you bypass them in some way? Or can they not even be your competition anymore by pivoting and changing focus and going into a different direction that no one else is serving? There's no competition if you're serving a market that no one else is serving. So there's no competition in a certain spot. For example, maybe just to use an example, maybe you're the best at minivans, or and you've got the best product in minivans, but everything else isn't the best. Are you filling a need and making the best minivan ever in this phrase? So you're pivoting and making a better product. So can you catch up with competition? Move to where there is no competition, or resolve those situations. So fix the fixable. So if we're looking at your business, can you fix the people? Fire the people that are not performing up to your expectations. Have you set out expectations, set out performance reviews, really reestablished what your expectations are? Are they living your core values? And I always have 3 elements of, we have our core values, but I also stole something from Patrick Lencioni, which was, are they humble? Are they smart? Are they hungry? If they aren't filling those 3, I need to move them on. Can you fix a process? Are you extremely inefficient in some part of your process within your office? Fixing the process relieves so much stress, because you can do a lot more if there's a process that is broken. As business owners, we need to step back and work on the process, not work in the process, and be the cog in the wheel. We may need, during this pandemic, may need to retool our product or service. Is there a need right now that you can serve? For example, looking at restaurants, we retooled to do delivery. We retooled to do carryout. We're fixing the fixable. So there are certain things that we can control, but also fire up your soul. You need to fire up your soul, get yourself going, get excited, get that passion back, and get things going. And I love this. There's a point in this movie I want you to look at. Right there. I love that portion of that movie. I always say that section of that movie is probably the most impactful, and we have to think about our business today. We're in the 14th round. We can choose to get up, get motivated, get things going, but you could be Rocky or you could be Apollo. And there's a guy I follow, and he's very articulate with his words, but his name is David Goggins, and he always points out this section of the movie, and David says, talks about this section and talks about taking people's souls, and if you saw that in that movie, it talked in that one little section where Apollo's face just loses all faith, and his soul was taken by Rocky, because he was stronger, and he could not believe that the competition would kept on coming. And we, as business owners, need to choose, are we going to move forward and be that Rocky, be that person that is going to grow, be that person that's in the 14th round that's going to get up off the mat and choose to keep going? Or do we follow and ends things right at that moment? And it's okay. And let me tell you, it is okay that you don't get up, and you don't have to get up. But if you choose to get up, make it worth it. Go back and fight and keep fighting and keep growing. So when you're down to making those decisions, I want you to think about talking to your key advisors. And we go all the way back to our first part of our presentation, talking about Pastor Tom Hufty with his presentation. And he said, when you're making these decisions, make sure you're discussing these decisions with people. If you're going to sell your business, talk to somebody that has an exit plan, that is an exit planner. Talk to your business coach, for example, Teresa. Talk to your attorneys. Talk to your CPAs. Talk to your bankers. Talk to your marketing company. Have an honest conversation with those individuals. Make sure that you've discussed all your options, looked at all the opportunities. Make sure that you're able to move forward, because it is very critical for you to talk to those key advisors and make sure that everybody can see the picture. Because if they're worth, anybody in that list is worth their salt, they'll be honest with you and say, we need to close. It's time. Let's make that decision. Let's look at an exit strategy. So, talk to your business coach, talk to your attorney, talk to your CPA, ask the critical questions and say, am I ready to move on? Am I ready to grow? Or should I walk away from the business? So with that, is there any questions?
So seeing if there's any more typing, but I do have one that came through that I'll pose to you now. As you mentioned, having the exit plan, we should have it when we open. It's a two-part question. How detailed does that need to be in the beginning? And then the second part is that something that we should revisit then ever so often as the business is beginning to grow, because it may change?
Well, with an exit plan, you don't have to, it does not have to be, oh, thank you. Paralegal gave me coffee.
Oh, nice. I could use a refill.
So, it doesn't have to be 20 pages long. It could be as short as, this is the dollar amount that this is my maximum dollar amount. I'm not going to go over this dollar amount. And it could be that simple in the beginning, but you gotta have the mindset, or you gotta have the concept that I'm not going to dump all this money. I'm not going to sign a 10-year lease. I'm going to see, the average business lifespan, or the average business owner, if you've made it 5 years, you're not out of the woods, but you're in a very thin percentage.
Right.
So within the first 5 years, and that's why I always say, before you even begin the business, you got to have an exit strategy. You got to know, okay, I'm going to spend X number of dollars. Once I hit that peak, I'm out the door, and then I need to look at closing. Maybe we're looking at a lease, and maybe it's it's a 2-year lease. So I've set out my limits. Maybe it's a 3-year lease or whatever it is, but you've minimized your cost, and then rethink it. But as you progress, the more detailed it needs to be. So,
Great.
Once you start making profit, you need to start rethinking. Okay, I'm in a business that is profitable. I'm in a business that things are growing. I need to start thinking about, where am I going? So am I selling the business to somebody else? Am I selling it to am I selling it to an employee? And do I have a key employee that I need to take care of? And that could be as simple as buying some life insurance or something along those lines. But as it grows, the more it becomes more profitable, the more sought out you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So putting things profitable first is always helpful.
Awesome. Look, I want to make sure I'm looking both at questions and the Q&A section. Again, everybody knows my technical difficulty is learning the new. So I want to make sure, Todd, if you can see them, I haven't missed, another. I just loved your presentation. It was excellent. And we did not prepare together, folks, but there was a lot of crossover, right? And a lot of things that, Todd took a little bit further, on, but similar message. And, I always say that I have people who know me know that I have a big crush on Brett Michaels. Okay. And I still have that, I've met him, but I've not been on the rock of love or anything like that yet. But my second favorite person I have a crush on is Marcus Lemonis. Absolutely. So the prophet himself. And so he always talks people, product, process. Yep. That's 3. And I just love that you added profit, of course, to that, and then passion. Because when you said you lost that love and feeling, that is something that I do see a lot when the owners are still working so much in their business instead of on it, and they're in the wheel and they don't know how to get out of it. And this isn't fun anymore, as it used to be, or things have changed. And you really need to look at that if that passion's gonna, carry over, because I don't have any statistics or anything to quote, but when we wonder of how many businesses, our small businesses that will come out of this, we've talked grand reopening, right? This is a time when everything comes, it's a grand reopening. You've got that time now to try the different things, to pivot, all of this to work on, your business. But if your passion is not there, it doesn't matter. And I've worked with clients that, are like that I've just basically said, okay, nothing, you have a negative outlook, on this, and we're not willing to try or grow or learn. How can I help you lock the door and turn the lights off?
Yeah.
And that's all part of your, should I stay or should I go?
Right. And I think that is the critical, I've seen business owners, and especially when they're just down and out, and they're just really not feeling it, and you just change one portion of the process, and their eyes light up, and they're like, oh, that is so much easier, so much better. I really enjoy that. So, just making those incremental changes within your business can have such a lifting spirit and a change for your business. So, just tweaking it just a little bit can just smooth out the wrinkles.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, first I was to say I'm going to have the theme song. I'm going to have Kenny Rogers, with the gambler in my head all day. And then when you ended with rocking, now it's like I want to run some stairs,
Yeah.
and get fired up and hear the theme song from from that.
I think Rocky is a in that 14th round is the question I always have for myself. Am I in the 14th round? Do I see the competition around me? And am I going to fall and just stay down as his coach was telling him, stay down? Or do I have enough momentum and enough fortitude to move forward? And fortitude to move forward may mean to close, may mean, that I need to rethink things. But, don't be the person where your soul is being taken. Go out and take souls. You want to look at people and say, I always think about this more in running. When you're running, at the end, people are out of gas, and you're on the edge, and you're seeing the finish line, and you use every last ounce of your ability, and you kick it in gear at that last second, and you're like, I beat you, I beat you, I beat you, I beat you. You got through to the finish line, and you've given it your all. When you've given it your all, that's the key.
Absolutely. And you bring up, positive points too for that person that is making that decision, they don't want to continue. What would a merger look like? What would you want to be acquired? Is that part of, your exit strategy? Or could you merge with somebody? Because, there are essential businesses, and ones that are supporting essential businesses that, are rising, during this time. And I've talked to so many that feel guilty, they're like, oh, we're listening to everybody else and we're doing great. Well, you might not do great sometime, with a different change, right, in the economy. But now that gives us time to, can you meet up? Is there successful businesses that, want to grow, and is an acquisition strategy something to look into right now, and see people that, may not want to continue and may want to turn over the keys to you, or, merge with you.
Yeah, this is a perfect opportunity to grow. I mean, you look around, if somebody's not efficient at this juncture, you're going to know it. Everybody's going to know it, because this pandemic elevates your weaknesses. So your weaknesses are going to be shown right here. And if you don't see them right this second, see where the market may be taking you, or where it's taking everybody else, this is time to look at your weaknesses and evaluate. Okay, I don't have the cash flow that I need to be sustainable. I don't have the people, the right people, to be sustainable. Going back to your 5 Ps, and re-looking at those parts of your business, but using it as an opportunity to sell it to somebody else. So absolutely, either allowing somebody else to acquire you, or you going out and acquiring. This is a great opportunity to find a business partner, and making sure that you have the right business partner, that may accentuate your weakness. And maybe you're good at marketing, but you're not so good at whatever.
Right.
Finding that other partner that elevates both of your businesses.
Exactly. I just want to say out to the people who, are watching this today, I got a challenge, for you. You probably, you're watching a lot of the webinars, and we hope, you're enjoying the beginning of our series, and we'll stay. And the other ones that you're watching, all great, right? You're hearing nuggets of information or some good stuff out of everything, what people are sharing. But if you don't put it into action, something, right? It doesn't matter, okay? You've got a great deal of knowledge in your head, but if you don't put it into practice, then what's the use of having that information in your head? So my challenge is with what Todd has shared with his great nuggets of information, I think everybody should, look at the evaluate their business on those five pieces. Even if you feel like, okay, everything's, fine now. Well, let me look at all this. Let me take a step back, because again, this is the time to do it. There's luxury in a crisis. And let me look at my people, and let me look at my processes. I hear people, it's like, okay, the issue, months ago, the fact that unemployment was, at such a low rate. Well, okay, now look at us, in the turn. And we have people that are laid off of work, and there's going to be a percentage of those that are going to evaluate, because they've now relaxed, they're out of their wheel, and they're thinking about things, and they might think about taking, different positions, right? So being out there and looking for those people. And I have one client that has used trading up, and I just love that expression to, be on the lookout for trade ups. So there are bodies out there. So if you're continuing and you're doing this evaluation that I'm challenging you to do, and you don't have the right people, you don't have them in the boat, you don't have them on the right seat of the bus, however you want to look at it, right? Do that. Is my processes, do I have them, first of all, and are they serving me, well, on that, and then product and service and the other things. So challenge everybody to take the nuggets that Todd has shared today and evaluate your own business and see what your thoughts are and where you could shore up some places. And then talk to the people that Todd brought up, right? There's people around you to talk to. Business owners, again, we're business owners for ourselves. We know sometimes you feel really alone out there, and you just want somebody to bounce things off of. And that's exactly, Todd had a great list of there's people out there to help. Any final thoughts?
No, I just want to thank everyone for attending. Whether you're here off of the event today or you're watching this on replay, we really appreciate you being part of this and taking the time to listen to us. And hopefully we provided some kind of value for your business. And we're just so thankful to be able to partner with you, Teresa, and accomplish this series, because hopefully this has made an impact on business owners.
Wow, I thank you again. And I mean, yeah, it's been, it's wonderful, because we pick up things, right, when we have the experts, and we're going to start rolling. I was just going to say, tomorrow, our topic we'll see, we will still be in refresh. Yes?
Yep, and
okay.
Marketing.
Okay, in the marketing, that's right. And we are going to have Brad Smith, who's the owner of Automation Links, joining us, and Jan Carpenter, who is the co-owner of Cork Tree Creative. And they're going to be talking about marketing spend via website funnels and branding. So it's going to be that insight on, we know that when cash is tight, marketing is something that normally people will cut back on. In addition to using their coach or their attorney, all these people that they still need around them, well, sometimes that they'll pull that money back. And so, we're going to have two experts on tomorrow that are really going to talk about, no, it's not the time to cut back and why, but maybe some repositioning, some rethought, and also teaching some ways, through website funnels that that maybe you're not familiar with. So that's tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Same bat time, same bat place.
Well, thank you very much. And again, thank you guys all. If you have any comments or questions after this video, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. If you think that we provided you some value, we enjoy the feedback. And if there's anything that we can be doing better, we need that feedback as well. So until next time, we will see you later.
Have a great day, everyone.